Shalom, holy initiates and holy adepts. Welcome to my holy channel. I am the Chief Magician of Mystery Babylon. So, I begin this video by making a very important, great announcement. I'm very pleased to state that I have published, I believe, my 8th or 9th book, which is a very, very powerful, esoteric, ridiculously advanced Lurianic Shabbathian text. And it is called The Mystery of the Engraved Letters. Now, I recently did a video about publishing another very advanced Lurianic Shabbathian text, Zadik Yasod Olam, and I labeled that video part 1 because this is part 2. This book, which has an Aramaic title, is a very, very esoteric Lurianic Shabbathian text that is paired alongside Zadik Yasod Olam. In other words, in standard editions of Chaim Vital's Sha'ar Yichud, or Yichudim, these standard editions include Zadik Yasod Olam. I also believe that Sefer Limudei Atziluth also contain, standard editions of Sefer Limudei Atziluth also contain, if I'm correct, Zadik Yasod Olam. Now, Zadik Yasod Olam, as I've stated, is an extremely esoteric Lurianic Shabbathian text. Now, it is paired, it is literally a text that is literally paired with the mystery of the engraved letters. However, because this book is so esoteric, it is not included in any standard Lurianic editions. It's not included in standard, editions of Chaim Vital's Sha'ar Yichudim, nor is it included in standard editions of Limudei Atziluth, because this book is that esoteric. This is a full-blown Shabbathian text and a ridiculously advanced Lurianic text. And in the very high circles of the order of the Zoharim, or the illuminated ones, that is the true holy Illuminati, Zadik Yasod Olam is studied right alongside this book, which is the mystery of the engraved letters. They go hand in hand. And the easy proof that this book is a full-blown Shabbathian text is that this book openly and explicitly talks about the two great secret lights, which is a very, very super esoteric doctrine of the biblical prophet Nathan of Gaza, our holy Rab. And it principally is a treatise on some of the most secret holy mysteries behind the 22 divine seals, thus being a very powerful aid to the holy magician. It also has a principal focus on very, very esoteric, advanced details of Maaseh Bereshith that are only found in the Shabbathian texts and in the most advanced esoteric Lurianic texts. Now, this is a very powerful and special book, and I'm going to tell you why. I decided to add an addendum to the book, which includes an English translation of certain portions of very, very powerful and esoteric Shabbathian commentary to Sifra Detz Nutha. So, among the order of the Zoharim, one of the principal texts is a very, very, very powerful and very, very esoteric, quintessential principal Shabbathian commentary to Sifra Detz Nutha. right? We have to understand that Sifra Ditznuta is probably the most esoteric book in Sefer HaZohar. And the only book that gives a full comprehensive disquisition, revelation, and the keys to understanding this text is this quintessential principle Shabbathian commentary to Sifra Ditznuta. Now, this book, you can't buy it anywhere. It doesn't exist, in any bookstore. In other words, no one has access to this book. No one can get access to this book, right? We understand that some of the most powerful and esoteric books, right, they're owned by the elite, they're owned by the Illuminati, and some of them are owned by the Vatican, right? It's like, there's this really great, and it's just a bit of a side point, but there's this really great, powerful teaching and revelation, right? Like when you get initiated into the highest levels, right, you begin to understand that the most valuable possessions on planet Earth, as understood by the true elite, it's not money, it's not gold, it's not silver, it's not property, really. It's books, right? But less than a handful of people know this and understand this. And this book only exists in certain libraries, and only certain people have access to it. Usually very, qualified, famous academic scholars. And there's only one book that includes extracts of this very powerful esoteric book. And I have provided an English translation of just some of those extracts in this book. And some of these translated extracts will help to better understand some of the very complex and esoteric sections in this book. I have also added a very esoteric verse from the Apocrypha of our Mashiach, Adon Yaakov Frank. Powerful, powerful, powerful verse. So that's what makes this book very, very special and very, very powerful. Just by itself is these very powerful esoteric extracts from this very powerful quintessential principle Shabbathian text. And so I encourage all of you, if there's, you should all have a great desire to purchase this book and own this book, just because of how powerful and esoteric it is, the powerful knowledge and wisdom that this book contains. So I didn't have to do that, but I went out of my way to, add an addendum and even include a very esoteric verse from the Apocrypha of Hamashiach Yaakov. Now you have to understand that this very esoteric verse that I've included in this book, was found in hidden manuscripts. In other words, this hidden verse isn't published anywhere. You won't find this hidden verse in any book. It doesn't exist in any book. Only one book. And that's this book. It's taken from hidden, unpublished manuscripts from Hamashiach Yaakov Frank. This is a very powerful book. Powerful, powerful. It's a very special book. I also want to conclude by giving a shout out to my twin brother Yira. He did the artwork for the back cover, which is a very, very powerful Kabbalistic image. You got to be a true Mekabel to understand the very powerful esoteric image that he did for the back cover. And then I also want to give a huge shout out to his chief disciple, Scott, who did the front cover for this book. Now, the front cover for this book is actually, it's a very, very special esoteric Kabbalistic diagram. His chief disciple was working on some very esoteric, constructs and meanings of certain Hebrew words. And this image is a complex esoteric diagram and representation of him trying to penetrate, very esoteric, Kabbalistic truths. So very powerful image for that front cover. So just want to give a shout out to Ira and his chief disciple Scott for that. Really appreciate that. So the link to purchase this book is below in the description. I'm sure many of you will be wowed and excited to the contents of this book. So that said, shalom, wassalam.